Today, we're going to be focusing on Microsoft Excel 2013, Lesson 2, Working with Excel. Our lesson skills include creating workbooks, saving workbooks, entering and editing basic data in a worksheet, using data types to populate a worksheet, cutting, copying, and pasting data, editing a workbook's properties. Our key terms for today include autofill, autocopy, copy, copy pointer, cut, fill handle, flash fill, formula bar, keywords, label, move pointer, natural series, office clipboard, paste, range, selecting text, and workbook properties. Today we'll be focusing on Excel's Home tab. So I am simply going to open up a blank workbook. On the Excel Home tab, you'll notice different things. It's broken down into different groups: clipboard, font, alignment, number, styles, cells, and editing. Each group that has a dialog box will be denoted by the dialog box launcher. So for example, clipboard, font, alignment, and number all have dialog boxes because they're denoted by the dialog box launchers. We'll first learn how to create workbooks. There are 3 ways to create a new Microsoft Excel workbook. You can open a new blank workbook using the File tab to access Backstage View, or when you launch Excel. You can open an existing workbook and enter new or additional data and save the file with a new name, thus creating a new workbook. You can also use a template to create a new workbook. A template is a model that has already been set up to display certain kinds of data, such as cell reports, invoices, and so on. Today we'll be creating a workbook from scratch. So we've already done that by going ahead and clicking File, New, Blank Workbook. In cell A1, we're going to type Warner Robins High School. This cell is a primary title for the worksheet. Note that as you type, text appears in the cell and in the formula bar. So in cell A1, you see the text. Also in the formula bar, we see the text. We're going to press Enter. The text is entered into cell A1, but appears as if it flows into cell B1. In cell A2, we're going to type 401 South Davis Drive. Followed by the Enter key. In cell A3, we're going to type Warner Robins, Georgia 31088. Followed by the Enter key. Sometimes you need a quick work area to complete another task while you are in the middle of a workbook. You can open another workbook as a scratch area. So we're going to do that by clicking the File tab. Then in the left pane, we'll click New. The different templates available will appear, and in the Backstage View, we'll click the blank workbook. A second Excel workbook opens and Book 2 appears in the title bar. In cell A1, we're going to type phone call, followed by the Enter key. Then we're going to type register for FBLA FLC, and followed by Enter. Now, we're going to learn how to switch between open workbooks. The ability to multitask is the most prized possession by employers. Windows and Excel enable you to work on multiple projects simultaneously. So when the phone rings, you can quickly go back to another area, make notes, or research a question, and then return to your work. If you have multiple workbooks open, you might need to move quickly between your workbooks to finish your task. So we can simply switch between workbooks by utilizing the taskbar on your desktop. When you do that, you'll notice that the 2 workbooks I have open now appear. one with my to-do list, as you can see, the other with the Warner Robins High School address that appears. Saving workbooks. When you save a file, you can save it into your computer's hard drive, a network file, or in this particular instance, we'll be saving all of our files into our Houston County Board of Education OneDrive. So we're going to go back to the workbook 1, which is where we typed Warner Robins High School, 401 South Davis Drive, and we're going to save this. So I'm going to go File, Save As, OneDrive Houston County Board of Education, Browse. We will browse to the Miss Dale folder. And we will save this workbook as Warner Robins High School. Now, once we've saved this workbook, we can close it. This will take us back to workbook 2, which has phone call and type register for FBLA FLC. Next, we're going to learn how to save a workbook in a previous Excel format. Files created in earlier Excel versions can be opened and revised in Excel 2013. However, if some of your users do not have the latest version or use in other applications, they might not be able to open your file. You can save a copy of an Excel 2013 workbook that is compatible with Excel 2097 through Excel 2013. We're going to do that with workbook 2. So we're going to go to the File tab. This will take us to Backstage View. Save as OneDrive Houston County Board of Education. We're going to browse till we see our Miss Dale folder. We're going to name this particular file as to-do list. Now, we want this to-do list to be accessed by multiple people using different versions of Word. So where we see the Save As type, we're going to click that drop-down menu, and you will notice that a variety of different file types are available for you to use. If we're wanting someone to be able to use this particular workbook that is using an older version of Word, we want to change it to Excel 97 2003 workbook. We still are able to edit and make changes to our workbook using 2013, but this allows other users that have older versions of Excel to access this workbook as well. I'm going to select Excel 97 to 2003 workbook and simply click Save. Now, we're going to talk about saving in different file formats. You can save an Excel 2013 spreadsheet in different formats other than Excel spreadsheets. You can save them in a variety of formats as which we've seen. One of the most common formats that people want to save their Excel spreadsheets in are PDF or XPS documents. So we're going to do that now. We're going to click the File tab, Save As. We're going to use our OneDrive Houston County Board of Education. We're going to browse to our Miss Dale folder. We're going to use the file name to-do list. This time we are going to select, instead of Save As type, we're going to scroll down until we see a PDF version, and we're going to click Save. Now, once you click Save, typically, by default, a PDF Adobe file should open featuring your Excel spreadsheet. That is one way to save as a PDF or XPF document. A different way is by clicking the File tab. We're going to click Export, and we're going to click Create PDF XPF Documents. This will take us to our OneDrive, and you should navigate, taking you to your OneDrive. Then you should navigate to your Missdale folder. We're going to name this To-Do List 2. And this time, we're going to click Publish. When we click Publish, again, it's going to open up a PDF file for us to use. I exited out of my PDF file, and I'm going to continue to work through this lesson by talking about entering and editing basic data in a worksheet. You can type data directly into a worksheet, cell, or cells. You can also copy and paste information from another worksheet or from other programs. Copy takes the information from one location and duplicates it. You paste or put this information into another location. To enter data in a cell in a worksheet, you must make the desired cell active and then type the data. To move to the next column after the text is entered, press the Tab key. Continue to press the Tab key to go to the next column. So, for this particular exercise, we're going to practice utilizing the Tab key. I'm going to make my cell A3 active. You notice that because it has the green highlight around the cell. I'm going to add to my to-do list by typing Take Attendance. I'm going to hit the Tab key. This is going to take my active cell from A1 to B, from A3 to B3. In this particular cell, I'm going to type 6 period. I'm going to hit enter. Now notice that I have something typed in A1, A3, and something typed in 6 period. It did not disappear because when I make A3 active, you can still see Take Attendance. I am going to now adjust the column width so that we can see everything. There are several ways to adjust column width. One of the quickest way is by placing your pointer in between the columns in which you want to adjust. When you do that, you'll notice a black line double pointer arrow that you can click and drag as you need to display your columns. Another way to adjust is by placing your pointer in between the A and B column and double clicking. That will automatically adjust your column width. The third way to adjust column width is by selecting the column or simply just placing your active cell in the column width in the column in which width you want to adjust, going to the Format button on the Cells group on the Home tab, and selecting Auto Fit Column Width. That will adjust the column width to the largest text in that column. We're going to save our work. We are done with this particular spreadsheet, so I'm going to close the spreadsheet by going File, Close. Now I will open up a brand new blank workbook to talk about editing a cell's content. So I'm going to go File, New, Blank Workbook. My A1 cell is active, and in that cell, I'm going to type Warner Robins High School. And press Enter. The insertion point moves to cell A2, and nothing appears in the formula bar. I'm going to click cell A1. Notice that the formula bar displays Warner Robins High School. I am going to go into the formula bar, and I'm going to place my insertion point after the L in school. I'm going to type a comma and add Georgia. Okay? You can use the formula bar to edit text as you need to. I'm going to hit enter once I'm done editing the text. This will move my active cell from A1 to A2. If you edit a cell's contents and change your mind before you press enter, you can press escape on the keyboard and the original text will be restored. If you change the contents of a cell and do not want the change, click the undo button on the quick access toolbar or press Ctrl Z. The deleted text will be restored. So if I hit undo on my quick access toolbar, everything goes back to normal. You can edit a cell by double clicking the cell and then typing the replacement text in the cell, or you can click the cell and then click in the formula bar. Next, we'll be discussing how to delete or clear a cell's contents. To erase the entire contents of a cell, you can click the cell and then press delete. So I'm going to click on A1. I'm simply going to click the delete key on my keyboard, and you'll notice that the cell has been cleared away. To erase the contents of more than one cell, you would select all the cells that you want to erase, and on your keyboard, press delete. Pressing delete removes the cell's contents, but does not remove any formatting, such as bolding, italics, or different number format that you might have applied. Next, we'll be talking about using data types to populate a worksheet. You can enter 3 types of data into Excel: text, formulas, or numbers. In the following exercises or activities, we will begin to enter text labels and number values. Text entries contain alphabetic characters and any other characters that do not have a purely numeric value. The strength of Excel is its capacity to calculate and analyze numbers based on the numeric values you enter. Labels are used to identify numeric data and are most common type of text entered in a worksheet. Labels are also used to sort and group data. If the first characters that you type in a column match an existing entry in the column, Excel automatically enters the remaining characters. This is known as autocomplete. This feature works only for entries that contain text or a combination of text and numbers. We're going to be entering labels and using autocomplete. So in cell 1, we're going to type in Warner Robins High School. I'm going to press my enter key on my keyboard. Then I'm going to type monthly sales into A2. I'm going to click the cell A4, and I'm going to type agent and then press the tab key. In cell B4, I'm going to type last closing date and press the tab key, followed by, in cell C4, I'm going to type January. In cell A5, I'm going to type Richard. In cell A6, I'm going to type David. In cell A7, I'm going to type Kim. In cell A8, I'm going to type Nicole. In cell A9, I'm going to type R. When I do that, you'll notice that the autocomplete has become active, and you'll see that the autocomplete entry now displays Richard. If I would like for it to continue to use the word Richard, I would simply press enter, which I'm going to do. When I press enter, my active cell will move to A10, and you'll notice that Excel autocompletes entered for me. If I do not want Richard after we press enter, I'm simply going to click the undo button and take it away. Entering numeric values. Numeric values are the foundation for Excel's calculations, analysis, charts, and graphs. Numbers can be formatted as currency, percentages, decimals, and fractions. By default, numeric entries are right justified in a cell. Applying formatting to numbers changes their appearance, but does not affect the cell value in Excel uses to perform calculations. The value is not affected by formatting or special characters, such as dollar signs, when that are entered with the number. The true value is always displayed in the formula bar. So we're going to click cell C5. But first, I'm going to auto adjust the width of my B column by simply double clicking. C5 is still my active cell. I'm going to type $275,000. You'll notice that I typed the dollar sign followed by a comma and the appropriate zeros. I am going to click cell C6. I'm going to type 125, comma, 00, and hit enter. Notice that when I click on cell C5 in the formula bar, you will see 275,000 appears without its formatting, which means the $sign and the commas. It only holds numeric value in the formula bar. We'll continue to type. I'm going to select C7 and type 2009, comma, 000, 209,000. I'm going to hit enter, and for Nicole, I'm going to type 258, comma, 000. I'm going to pause and leave this workbook open. We'll be utilizing it a little bit later. I do want to talk about special characters that are indicate the type of value can also be included. A plus sign can be included to indicate that it has a positive value. A negative or parentheses indicates a negative value. $sign indicates a currency value. Percentage indicates a percentage value. A forward slash indicates a fraction or a date. Equals indicates that follows is a number or formula. This is useful when there is an ambiguous entry. For example, 4/5 assumes April 5th is the current year, whereas equals /4 with a /5 enters 4/5 or 0.8. A period will indicate a decimal, and a comma separates the digits of entry, thousands, millions, and so on. Next, we're going to talk about inserting dates. I'm going to place my insertion point, so should you, to make my B5 active cell. I'm going to type 1/4/2015 and press enter. I'm going to then move my active cell down to B6 and type 1/25/2015 and press enter. The date is entered in C6 as 1/25/2015, and B7 becomes the active cell. Now, I'm going to type 1/17 and hit enter. You'll notice that 1/17 represents the current year, and the formatting has changed to 17-January. If I click on that particular cell, you'll notice in the formula bar, you'll see 1/17/2015. It recognizes that this is a date for the current year. The next thing we're going to talk about today is filling a series with autofill. Excel provides autofill options that automatically fill cells with data and/or formatting. To populate a new cell with data that exists in the adjacent cell, use the autofill feature either through the command or the fill handle. The fill handle is a small green square in the lower right corner of selected cells or range of cells. A range is a group of adjacent cells that you select to perform operations of all the selected cells. When you refer to a range of cells, the first cell and the last cell are separated by a colon. For example, C4 through :H4. So if I select C4 through H4, you'll notice that C4 is in the name box there. But the range of cells will be denoted by C4 :H4. To use the fill handle, you'll point to the lower right-hand corner of the cell or the range until the mouse pointer turns to a positive plus sign. You'll click and then drag the fill handle from the cells that contain data to the cells that you want to fill with data. Or have Excel automatically continue a number series, numbers or text combinations, date, or period of time. So, for example, I'm going to make cell B7 my active cell. I'm going to place my pointer in the bottom right-hand corner of the cell. You'll notice that I have a positive, big positive plus sign. I'm going to click and drag, and as I click and drag down to the desired cell, that I have now used my autofill feature with my fill handle. Excel recognizes January as the beginning of a natural series and completes the series as far as you take the fill handle. By definition, a natural series is formatted series of text or numbers that are in a normal sequence, such as months, weekdays, numbers, or times. So, for example, a natural series of numbers could be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 100, 200, 300, 400. Or a natural series could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or January, February, March. Filling cells with flash fill. Flash fill is like autofill, but Excel does more work. This is a new feature in Excel 2013. When Excel recognizes a pattern based on the information in your workbook, it uses that pattern. This is helpful in an example where you've typed the first and last names in one column and later decided that you wanted to sort by last name, then by first name. You can create 2 more columns to separate the names. After you start typing the first names, Excel completes the column. You can repeat with the last name column. So we're going to practice an activity using flash fill. I'm going to close this workbook, so I'm going to hit File, Close. I'm not going to save it because it's not worth my time saving it. We won't be using it later. I'm going to open the O2 Customers file from Student Assignments. So I'm going to go File, Open, Computer, Desktop. I'm going to navigate to Student Assignments, Dale folder, Excel 2013 Student Data Files. This is Lesson 2. And I'm going to use the O2 Customers. I'm going to open it. When you open the Excel file, if you see that it's opened in protected view, all you have to do with the yellow bar is click Enable Editing. Now, we're going to click on cell B1. B1. We're going to type first. I'm going to press the Tab key and click, that should highlight cell C1 and type last. And I'm going to then hit Enter. I'm going to click cell B2 and type Kim and press Enter. In cell B3, I'm going to type H. When I do that, notice that Hazem shows in the rest of the cell and the other first names of the customers appear. We're going to press Enter. That should move us to, we're going to move to cell C2. We're going to type Abercrombie. And I'm going to put Enter. In cell C3, I'm going to type A. Notice that Abercrombie is repeated with autocomplete. We're going to continue by typing the B-O-L. And we're going to notice that the last names all now start to appear. I'm going to press Enter. This is where we used our flash fill. You'll notice that we use the flash fill because a little icon will appear that looks like a little lightning with a drop down arrow, and it has options for us to change, undo the flash fill, accept suggestions. So those are some options with flash fill. It's very easy to use. And it's a whole lot simpler than using the copy and paste function. I am going to double click the right border of the columns B and C to set the column width. I'm going to scroll down to double check to make sure everything filled in on my worksheet, and it looks like it has. And I'm going to save this file as O2 Customers Solution. So we're going to go File, Save As, Houston County Board of Education, Browse. We're going to navigate to our Mistale folder. We're going to name this O2 Customers Solution and click Save. The next thing we're going to talk about is cut, copying, and pasting. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because this is the most basic feature everyone seems to know how to use. Cut, copy, and paste functions can be performed in a variety of ways. The mouse, ribbon commands, shortcut commands such as Control-C, copies, Control-X, cuts, and Control-V, paste. And you also can use the Office clipboard pane. When you select the dialog box launcher, you'll notice that on the left pane of Excel, the clipboard will appear. The next thing we're going to talk about is copying a data series with the mouse. We do this by using the drag drop editing feature or the copy pointer. And this is when the pointer becomes the copy pointer, an arrow with the plus sign, and you can drag the cell or range of cells to a new location. As you drag, a scrolling screen tip identifies where the section will be copied if you release the mouse button. So I'm going to select A1 all the way down to the end, which is quite a long way, which would be A to 1193. I'm going to press the Control key on my keyboard. And as I do that, I'm going to hold the mouse button down as you point. So I'm going to hold the Control key as I hold my mouse button down on the right border of the active range. You'll notice when I do that, the pointer has a plus sign right above the right-hand type. So we are now in copy pointer mode. I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to move the text over. And as you can see when I do that, it now tells me the location, which is D1 through D1193. I'm going to let go. And when I let go of the control and the mouse, my information has now moved over by using the copy pointer. This concludes today's lesson in Microsoft Excel 2013, Lesson 2, Working with Excel. The skills that we've covered today include to create workbooks, to save workbooks, to enter and edit basic data in a worksheet, to use data types to populate a worksheet, to cut, copy, and paste data, and to edit a workbook's properties. You are now ready to begin Lesson 2 activities.